Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me start with where Mr. Ellison somewhat left off. I want to just highlight, emphasize, underline the notion that J.P. Morgan Chase settled for $13 billion. $13 billion. J.P. Morgan Chase has a battery of lawyers. If there were questions with reference to constitutionality, J.P. Morgan Chase has lawyers who can litigate those questions. They were not litigated, and no court has concluded that any one of these settlements is invalid, unconstitutional, illegal, unethical. Not one court. Bank of America, $17 billion. Citigroup, $7 billion. Goldman Sachs, $5 billion. You would think that at some point these business folk would say, hey, guys, quit dragging us into this. Don't keep bringing our names before the American public with reference to these things. You would think that at some point they would want to see this behind them, unless they are behind this. Who knows? Let's go now to a claim that was made with reference to some of this being unethical. All lawyers are aware that if there is a grievance with reference to ethics, you can take it to an ethics commission. There across the length and breadth of this country, every state has an ethics commission. If there were unethical questions, they could be addressed to an ethics commission. But we now bring them to Congress. We're going to litigate the ethics of it when there are commissions established to investigate, acquire evidence, and make decisions. Next point. Homeowners need help. That's what these settlements do. They accord homeowners help, and they need help. If you've never dealt with one of these circumstances, you don't understand that a homeowner walks in with just a box of paperwork. They don't know what they have in the box. All they know is that they need help. And when they go into these legal aid societies, to these NGOs, they have to sort through and sift through. The homeowner doesn't know that there's a HAMP program, a HARP program. They don't understand that there's a deed in lieu that they might engage with and acquire. They don't understand that there are short sales. They don't understand these things. That's why these programs are so beneficial, to prevent foreclosure. So the money is going to help homeowners, to help them keep their homes and stay in their homes. This really is an effort, it seems to me, to legitimize a process that would prevent homeowners from getting the opportunity to stay in their homes. And I regret that. Now, finally, on a couple of more points quickly, I'm concerned about the notion that the banks aren't here. If we really want records from the banks, why don't we call the banks in? Let them testify. Maybe the banks are here and I don't know it. Anybody here representing a bank today? If so, raise your hand. You are? Which bank are you representing, sir?
Well, I think you're familiar with it. It's a gigantic bank of $270 million in Big Springs, Texas.
Okay. Well, kindly give us the name today, if you would.
Well,
the name of the bank.
The National Bank of Big Springs, Texas.
The National Bank of Big Springs.
Jim Purcell, I think you met when he testified before this committee a year or two ago.
Well, Your Honor, I appreciate your sharing that with me. But we have the opportunity to require J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Citigroup, and Goldman Sachs to come before the committee and bring the records related to the settlement. You don't have to require the Justice Department to do it if you say they won't do it, and I believe they've given you what they can, but you can bring the banks in. Why are we harping on the Justice Department when the banks are available to be brought in and they can give it to us? Why not? There is something about this that the American public doesn't like. And I'm telling you right now, the American public is fed up with this. They want to see people prosecuted. Here we are finding clever ways to keep homeowners from staying in their homes when we ought to be finding ways to put people in jail who participated in this fraud that has never been properly addressed. And yes, we could appropriate money to do it if we wanted to, and we could investigate it if we wanted to. It's time to satiate the desires of the American public. I yield back.
The gentleman yields back.